Oh, yeah. That's my fault. Okay. Should I just go back? My name is TJ Walker. Okay. My name is TJ Walker. I go to Huntsville High School, and I am a junior.
He has an amazing smile that just makes you want to smile.
Yeah, I think I'm a very typical person. I'm very simple.
Funny, supportive.
Character.
Yeah, he's very funny. Like, he has like a personality that nobody has.
I'm a very boring person, but at the same time, I'm fun to be around too.
Like, I never hear him say anything bad about anybody else. I never hear him knocking anybody else down.
TJ is a light in a dark place and even in a bright place.
And he's just a great kid.
Just an overall great kid.
It was April 25th.
April 25th, 2022 at 5:03 p.m.
At that moment, my main focus was my legs, because I tried to like get up, but I couldn't get up. I remember trying to like at least move them, couldn't move them. So like now I'm thinking, okay, I'm paralyzed. That was the first thing that came to my mind. I was awake when they took me into the ambulance.
Definitely a blur. It's like everything just happened all at once.
It was like I heard no, like a little no. It was just like very quiet, but it was like, I don't want to tell you yes. Their face talked for them. So I kind of knew. In the ER, there's a lot of trauma rooms, and then there's one major trauma room. They put me in the major trauma room.
When he first arrived, he had to lay flat on his back for 24 hours. And he couldn't move anyway. He was in so much pain, he couldn't even sit up in the bed. But they wanted him to stay flat. He had to just lay there, slanted on the bed.
There's really no sleep in ICU, because it was like doctors and nurses in and out. I had to like keep doing tests to see like what I could move, what I couldn't move, every shift change. Medicine, and then trying to eat. I didn't have an appetite. I still remember a little, but at the same time, it's just like a blur. I couldn't really do anything, so right there and then I just remember like, is this like really it? Like, is this how I'm gonna have to like live? People helping me all the time, I'm gonna need help with everything. Like right there and then is when I thought, because I couldn't even sit up in a chair, like without being like something wrapped around me, holding me onto the chair. Like I couldn't even sit up in a chair.
The neurologist came in, because he had so many different doctors, and they came in, and his dad was like, just tell us, but he didn't want to say anything in front of TJ, of course. So he put him to the side, and he was like, it's 50-50 chance. It's really gonna be up to TJ and his physical therapy. Like, I can't say he will walk again, and I can't say that he won't. So he went from ICU, he left the ICU and went straight to tier for rehab. And they just really wanted to get him adjusted in a wheelchair, because they, like I said, they didn't know at the time if he was gonna walk again or if he wasn't, but they wanted him to be comfortable using a wheelchair before he went home. So as time progressed and he got with the physical therapist, they saw that he was doing better, and he was like, okay. He was started getting in and out of the bed by himself. And they were like, okay. And then he went from walking in a walker. Once they saw, once more and more physical therapy progressed a lot more, and they were like, okay, maybe he will walk. Maybe he'll just be on a walker. So he just kept getting better and better, and they just kept extending his stay. And they were like, okay. The nurses will be like, okay, TJ, we have a kid here. Do you want to meet him? And they'll bring him in there or bring the kid into his room. One was like, I think 6, one was 10, and one was 12. And they all gravitated to TJ. And if they weren't listening to physical therapy, he was like, hey, listen. And then they'll kind of listen a little bit. So he was helping the physical therapist out too.
Actually being able to help them, even though I was going through this, felt good, because I like to help people. So that felt really good to hear. He was still positive through everything. The nurses asked him, could he do something? He was like, yeah. And they were like, do you want to try this? Yeah. He never said no.
He was always willing to do something or to try, even though he knew it would hurt, but he would at least give it a try. Good people. Oh my God, I wish we could have brought them home with us. They were so sweet. He still has their emails, phone numbers, so he still stays in contact with them as well.
I was released from the hospital June 14th of 2022. I was really excited to go home. I was in the hospital for 2 months, so you could just imagine how excited I was to go home.
Yeah. So the first time
That was the first time we saw TJ.
The first time that he came out, it was my 16th birthday party.
He has a great set of friends, I can say. Throughout everything, the whole time he was there, they were all reaching out to him. Friends, to his teacher, to everybody just wanting to know how he was. And
Like, anytime there was something going on, I wanted him to still do it because he could still do it.
We just wanted him to be there.
I wanted him to be there.
Yeah,
Like-
be active.
I don't want him to feel left out just
Yeah.
because of what had happened.
Yeah.
I was at home and it was my first time walking without my walker or like my cast. And I walked a few steps. It was little, but to me it was like a huge thing.
He was excited to be back. He really didn't want to show too much of his struggle or too many of his pains. And then when he came back to school, he was always wanting to show all of us what he could do, even if his trainers didn't give him clearance yet. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that.
Me and TJ also had a joke with the wheelchair. It's like, commercial vehicles, they have like a parking brake thingy. And, to pull it out, like to do the brakes, it go like, and so with the wheelchair, whenever he would stop, TJ would go the brake on. So that's just another joke that we had together.
Oh, that's funny.
And I just know that he speeded with the wheelchair. I mean,
He
would
made
drive
it
fast.
clear he did.
Yeah.
Yep.
You get out the way or you get ran over.
Basically.
And as much as I was like happy and excited to see everybody, I like soon realized like I wasn't happy to actually be at school. That like moment right there is like when it was like really hard for me. Like I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to like do anything. I didn't want to talk to anybody, family, friends. I just wanted to be at home.
I always let him know, like during it, I would always like reassure him that like if he needed anything, I could talk to him or he could talk to me or anything he needed, he could come to me.
so it was just a whole different side that I've ever seen of TJ. I've never seen him sad. Never. And this was beyond that. Like he was hurting and physically and mentally. And he didn't want to talk to me about it because he didn't want to hurt me. People that he knew that he could talk to and open up to without him knowing that they're feeling some type of way.
I've been through so much and I'm still here able to do something. Like I just try to look at all the positive things. Like it could just be like the littlest thing and I try to make it the biggest. Like I never try to look at the negative anymore. Like the bad days are still there. Like I would still have bad days here and there, but after I tried to look at everything in a positive way, it seemed like everything started to become more positive. And I started to see like hope. But what's that saying? There's light at the end of the tunnel.
If the student gets in your way, like you can turn it off. We're not gonna throw your school. You're doing it a little. Keep your toes forward. Turn that, foot in. Imagine your ruler.
I was like, yes, my boy is walking. I was so happy for him. And then like when he stopped using them, I was like so happy for him. Cause like now he just be roaming around freely, kind of.
He just be everywhere.
And he be walking fast. Like he be walking fast now. At first it was hard because we had to walk with him. Like we had to go his speed. But now we have to keep up with him.
Well, the physical therapist wanted him to participate in the 5K. And they were like, if you want to do it, we want to do it with you. And some of the counselors here at the high school did it too. So Ms. Stringer got this shirt made for him, and it says, "I wear green for TJ," and the green is for spinal cord injury awareness.
His grit and his ability to go through hard times and adversity is really, truly amazing. I feel as though adversity is something that he was born to face, and his mindset was always at a level that I don't think a lot of people are already at, even adults.
Taking my inspiration from a 17-year-old right now, and you know what? He's got it right. He's got it right.
Once I was going through all this and I needed, you know, all my family, of course, came to me with advice and everything, and one that stuck with me was from my cousin, and she was like, just think about it. If God had to choose any one of your kids, TJ would be the one that he chose because he knows his heart is big, it's pure, and he knows how forgiving TJ is. He knows how loving, how kind-hearted TJ is, and so if any of them had to deal with that, like I don't think anybody else, any of my kids could deal with that, but anybody but TJ. He was perfect for this, and I think God put him in this position for a reason. And he was telling everybody, all the physical therapists, I'm walking at graduation. I'm walking at my graduation. And some were like, at first they were like, you know, but they wouldn't say, no, you're not. But like, he was telling them, I'm walking at my graduation. I'm going to give all of y'all an invitation so y'all can see me walking. So that was his goal, and he's already passed that. He's walking now. Maybe with a limp, but he's walking.
He's gonna dance.
Yeah, he might just run across the stage. Like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm like, run, baby, run. Run.
That's awesome.
Yes.